This is the Candice Buchanan Show. You're listening to 98.5 Island Fever FM in Orlando, Florida. This is my home. This is where we live. This is where we've been. This is where we put our roots. You understand? And I want to shout out to everybody who put them roots, all the Caribbean people who put them roots all up and down the Florida corridor. Yes, we're talking to the people listening to us from Key West to West Palm and Palm Beach County, all the way up to Port St. Lucie. Of course, we're listening on the Voice of the Caribbean 101.5 FM HD2 and simulcasting on 96.9 FM in Orlando and in South Florida, and of course in Orlando 98.5 FM. No, because Orlando is our home and we are the number one Caribbean station in Orlando. This story lick me hard, and I have the lovely Guenet Roberts on the line to talk more about this. She is the organizer of Orlando Carnival Downtown. Hello, Guenet. How are you?
Hello. We're past Carnival, and Carnival is the gift that keeps on giving, huh?
I tell you, listen, man, I was so upset when I saw it. And for those of you who are just coming out of your car, I want to give you the opportunity to listen to this news story that was run post-Carnival here in the city, beautiful, our city, Orlando. Guenet, hold the line, because you're going to talk to us about it. But we want to go through this news item. I want to make sure everybody knows exactly what we're talking about right now. Scotty, play the news story.
This is the salacious video being shared all over social media. We've blurred parts of it because multiple women can be seen dressed in very little clothing, dancing provocatively around Orlando police officers. The video was reportedly taken during the Orlando Caribbean Carnival event on May 23rd. At one point, a woman can be seen climbing on top of the golf cart and twerking. The officers on duty and in uniform are not doing anything to stop it. They're seen smiling and laughing. A concerned citizen sent Fox 35 the video, so we took it straight to the Orlando Police Department. They told us, quote, "The Orlando Police Department is aware of a video circulating online from the Caribbean Carnival Festival that took place on May 23rd. The behavior displayed in the video does not reflect the professionalism expected of Orlando police officers. The department does not condone this type of conduct and has launched an internal investigation to determine whether any department policies or regulations were violated. In addition, the officers involved have been suspended from working extra duty events of this nature for 4 months pending the outcome of the investigation." We showed the video to a couple of Orlando taxpayers. Their reactions.
Oh, no way.
The event was the Orlando Carnival Downtown. On the website, it has the Orange County logo and says, "This project is funded in part by Orange County, Florida through the Arts and Cultural Affairs Program." Former law enforcement officer Jamie Copenhaver says even if the officers didn't initiate the interaction, they should have shut it down.
I mean, come on, let's have some common sense. I mean, you go through the police academy, you go through some life skills and learning skills, hit the gas pedal on the golf cart and drive away from these cladly dressed women.
Copenhaver says they should know every move they make is on camera, and situations like this can damage the officers and the department's credibility.
If you're local and those officers are involved in any type of scenarios that would be subject to an internal affairs complaint, or if they make a judgment call out on the field, that video certainly could be used against them.
Bailey Bockover, Fox 35 News.
All right, Guenet, your response, my dear.
My response is this. Those young officers were so lovely to our community. Let me tell you, they were responding. They had just taken that golf cart from me and Kiefer. And they were responding to some folks who had conned some of our masqueraders out of a parking spot where they had them pay for parking, and then those people's cars were towed. Now, when they were responding, we were taking garbage off those golf carts. Those officers asked how they could help us to take the garbage off. Those are the best of Orange County. Let me just tell you guys, an OPD. And they were surrounded by people dancing. You guys know what Juve is, but you guys also don't know how much pushback we get in the community for our culture to be recognized as having a right to stand on its own. And now you guys are actually seeing what we go through. Now, what people don't realize is this. We have to pay Orange County and Orlando Police Department in order for us to even have a festival. It's about $20,000 just in security and orange and OPD costs that have to be paid out.
$20,000?
Oh yes. Any festival having an outdoor festival on any of our festival grounds have to pay OPD or Orange County, and those police officers have to. And it's about $50 an hour, $60, $70 that people pay. So nobody is talking about that part. It's almost as if they are just providing these officers to our festivals on Orange County taxpayer dimes. No, you see when they said that they were suspended for the next 4 months, what that means is they will not be able to make a valuable part of revenue that Orlando Police Department officers count on. And it's unfair that those police officers, which were good police officers, community-minded and not brutalizing our community, will have to face a penalty in their pay for that. That's not coming from their regular pay. That is coming from every festival promoter that is doing an event having to pay for OPD and Orange County Police Department staff. That is something we all have to do, but nobody talks about it. Right? It looks like we just take. When we get a grant, a lot of that grant goes back into services that our taxpayers benefit from. So we pay police officers, we pay for the road closures, we pay a lot of services back into the community. Otherwise, we could do these events cheaper outside of the city of Orlando. But that money goes right back into the city of Orlando. And so I want everybody to understand that. And I want our community to understand something really important right now. This is a critical moment because if you guys don't stand up for those police officers, then you get what you deserve. Okay? Because that same carnival weekend, there was an Orlando police officer that turned away one of our Haitian trucks. That truck was on the road following the route that we had paid for to close down. And that police officer didn't see anybody else behind him, but they knew we were having the parade, and they shut those people down from participating back in the parade. Those are the things that are the norm. Those are the things we're accustomed to going through and that we accept. These officers weren't brutalizing our people. They didn't have their foot on our necks, and so they're being brutalized for it. They were on our festival grounds. They were in our golf carts. We see nothing wrong with their behavior. They did not dance with the girls. What? Because they smiled? Because
Guenet,
brutalize these girls?
I want to jump in. I want to jump into that. We have about 30 seconds before we take a quick station ID and come back, because I want to discuss further. I want to really dissect this report, because as a journalist, listen, I give in 8 seconds. We're gonna go to a break. We are back. And we just, if you're just joining us, we are with the lovely Guenet Roberts, who is in charge of and produces, with a shoestring budget, Orlando Carnival Downtown every single year. And the news art and that news, I don't even know what to call that. That news story that was ran by a popular, one of the most popular local TV stations. I'm going to speak as a journalist myself for over 20 years. I believe that it was lazy. It was a lazy report. It was low-hanging fruit for persons who don't like our community or persons who just want to sensationalize things. And I think it was irresponsible journalism, because nowhere in there was research done on who we are, on our culture. Because if they had done a little bit of reading, just a little bit of research, they would have understood that all of that dancing is a very normal part of or carnival celebrations or Juve celebrations or entire carnival celebrations globally. And perhaps had their editor done their research, one little Google search, they probably would never have run that story. But I get the feeling that there is a motive here. Now, this is purely my speculatory, but the way that it was, from a journalist's perspective, the way the story was told, the way it was set up, this is a very good journalist, because they shocked you first with the visual. No context, no explanation until further down when the visual was already seared into your mind and you've already made up your mind that this is crazy, right? Then they link it to the police officers to further outrage you, right? The key words that they used were, they were dancing crazy around the officers. Around, not on. Around
not
the
on.
officers. Now, what are the officers supposed to do about people having fun and dancing around them? Let's take this a little further. Then they show, quote unquote, taxpayers, not citizens, taxpayers, not Orlando and Orange County citizens or residents. No, taxpayers. Then the very next thing they talk about is the funding from the city using the tax dollars. That, my darling, sounds to me like someone's trying to defund Carnival.
Correct. And that's exactly it. And let me tell you, our community something. Our events are always under attack. We are always having to make the case that what we do is culture. And then on our end, our community of themselves don't step up to sponsor and support the same culture that the people who are presenting it have to fight for the right to present. Because it is, you know, one of the things we were told, if it's not European culture, it is not culture. Those are the things that we have stood in the front end and faced down with respect to Caribbean culture.
So if
but
it's not
at
European
the end of the day,
culture, it's not culture.
Yes, that is something we were told right here in Orlando.
Oh,
and
my
we have
goodness.
had
We
to
are not
fight
outraged
again.
enough.
We are never outraged enough. We're never outraged enough. But you see those young police officers that just got a pay demotion. What will they learn? That they should be brutal to us, and that is more accepting. And that is something that we have to change and not accept. Because those police officers were the loveliest police officers in my 10 years of doing Orlando Carnival that I have ever experienced. And so what it says to them is that is not how they should be treating us. That's exactly
They
what
should
it
be
says.
treating us
But
like-
we
as a
have
matter
to
of
now
fact-
stand for them.
As a matter of fact, Guenet, and I agree, fully stand for them, and we'll talk more about that in just a second. But I want to speak to the gentleman, the expert that they brought on to speak. And his suggestion was to press the gas and drive off while these people are holding on to the carts. So his
Correct.
thought
Because
process
that
is
is how they see that they should have dealt with us.
They should injure us.
Yep.
That's what they want to
Yes.
do. That's the
Yes.
solution. And then he talked about it like it was common sense. Oh, it's common sense. You
And
just
then
hit the gas.
I can tell you, OPD or Orange County probably would not have demoted those officers from not participating in festivals, right? They would have been defending them, right? That's what would have happened. That was our golf cart. And when I say our golf cart, I'm very clear. That was a golf cart Orlando Carnival paid for. So we don't back off from fighting for our equal right to stand as equal citizens because we're paying our way. We are paying our way. And when we get a grant from Orange County, let me tell you, we are punching way above the grant that we have gotten. So no, they cannot make us feel lesser than. Because I know we're not lesser than. We bring to this city, we contribute to this city, and we will not feel as if we have to beg for scraps. And if that makes them feel some way, because what they saw there, that every person who comes there, every black and brown person who comes into Carnival, you know what they feel? Pride. pride that we, people who look like them, are not shirking. And so that is what this city will always get from us, because our community needs that.
Let me ask you this.
They
How
will
can
not
we
see a
support
broken...
these how can we support these officers? How we can support
them? I'll tell you guys something. Mayor Demings started as a beat cop 40 years ago in Orlando, and he has always supported the carnival. And there's years when we had the carnival at Desertland. It's called swatting. One of the businesses at Desertland kept calling the police to come into the festival. Now, what that means is they kept coming up to the gate. Mayor Demings and one of the other police officers sat at that gate to greet them. People do not know all of the things that we go through. There's a reason we stay at Camping World. It is to keep you guys safe from what racism happens all around us that you don't even understand when you're being your true self.
I was at that carnival. I remember very clearly. I was at that carnival, and I can confirm that we had to turn the music down to like car stereo level because of that specific business. And to be honest, I have not been back to that Desertland Park since. Because of how we were treated, and it was pure and simple racism. It was bad.
And it was what it's called is swatting. And I didn't understand that, but he did. And he went and he stood at that gate for us. Stood at that gate.
Orange County Mayor.
When the police came, Orange County, they were met with him personally at that gate. Right? Because what would have happened is they would have come in and they would have stormed the place. And then our people would have been arrested or hurt. That's what would have happened. Those are the things we really and truly face when we're doing festivals here. And so we will have to sit with them and we will have to understand, how do we support these officers? Because it is very real that these officers just lost $20,000 in income each on their annual income. It's not a little bit.
That's a lot of money.
What does it teach
in these
them?
difficult times?
What does it teach them? And what does it teach them to do?
It teaches
they
them
will be
to
back next year with an angry face and an angry disposition.
Exactly.
No,
and it's so funny because they were sitting there.
Festival.
They weren't doing anything. They were just laughing at how crazy these carnival people are. Now, let me point something out to you as well, Guenet, because I was reading those comments, public comments made by people. And when you click on the hidden comments section, almost every comment was from a person who isn't of color calling us monkeys.
That people will see exactly what we really face. And to be frank with you, Candice, there's so much that we do organic. We did organic marketing this year because there was something about the algorithm that. And I think I mentioned this to you, when we would boost, it was filling it with hate messages. And so we did not even want to have hateful people know that we were having that festival.
Isn't that
There's
sad
a lot that we go
you
through.
Pay your taxes?
There's a lot that we go through to keep everybody safe and comfortable.
And it's so sad that you pay your taxes, you do what you're supposed to do, and these people paid their money. They entered a festival. They entered a park. They're having a joyous time. Nobody was. I wouldn't even talk about the craziness I see. I don't even go downtown anymore when EDC is here because the madness that happens downtown when EDC is
our
there.
Our people are not overdosing.
Oh my
They don't have to be those police officers don't have to be on high alert with narco, whatever, pens or whatever, those kits. That's not the case. Look at how many events we had across Orlando, and there were no shootings, there was no arrests. Talk about that. They did not give us an opportunity to talk about how much we poured into this city, not just the carnival, but the carnival weekend, because there were events down on Wall Street. There were events all the way to Ocoee. There were events at Majestic. All of our community was able to eat because of the Caribbean community's events. And that has been going on for 40 years. Imagine the city 40 years ago when our folks came down from New York and decided they were going to help to build it with our festivals. Imagine what they had to go through. But they helped to build this city. And I will not have our people, our young people, feel any lesser than because they helped to build Orlando. And so they're going to stand very equal to everybody else. Those police officers have grown up with this festival. All of Paramore has grown up with this festival. They consider Orlando Carnival their event. That's what bothers those people.
Well, Guenet, we have less than 2 minutes. Do you? Your official position is for us to. Our
official position is you guys get back in those comments and push those racists back into their hidey holes. Push back on them. Do not let hate win. And we have to fight back on it. And we have to fight for those police officers. And so we will be talking to the mayor and we will find out how we can support them in a way that is right. And we'll be partnering with all our media partners to explain that what Fox did with that story was wrong. Let them go and talk about the Epstein files. Let them go talk about real news that they should be talking about. Maybe if their people went out and danced like our people, they wouldn't be twiddling people behind the scenes. They don't want any of this. We're coming hard for them with this nonsense.
No, I understand your rage. Mikey Mike actually talked about it earlier this morning as well. And we will continue to talk about this because we don't want this story to die down. These officers deserve justice. And
they do.
It's very important also for the Caribbean community to understand, even the ones who may not be involved in Carnival, the ones in church who may think Carnival is salacious, understand that your event is next. And so if we don't defend this event, then you know, what are we going to be doing here? I want to thank you for coming through and speaking with us, Guenet. We will talk about this topic again soon. Let us know what you're doing and let us know how we can support, because this is definitely an attack on our culture and we're minding our business over here. We don't appreciate it. You take care of yourself, my darling. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.